Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com, and today we're going to talk about the mark of the beast. So, this has been one of the most confusing things going on forever. People are like, what's really the mark of the beast, right? So, the mark of the beast. Okay, so let me give you a little bit of history. So, I was very much into church Bible study. In fact, I've got all these dictionaries for the Bible. This has two dictionaries: Strong's Dictionary, Word Studies, Concordance. So this is the Hebrew Greek Key Study Bible. All right, King James. Pretty much the only Bible I read. So I tell you what, let's get this started with the candle. I'm not going to do the white sage because I've already done it twice today. All right, let's get this going. All right. Just think you guys like to watch the fire because I know you guys. You guys are fire starters. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so let's talk about the mark of the beast. So, I've been teaching a course called Cracked Female Code. Now, it began to get developed through everything I'd studied and learned. And the main two things that really added to it was I meditated every day for hours for 12 years, every single day. Not for 15 minutes, not for an hour, for hours, okay? And on the weekends, it would be much longer, okay? Or any day we're having free time. I went through an awakening. And one of the things I began to notice was the Bible suddenly had a completely different meaning to me when I woke up. I opened up to my right brain. These are two different processors. Logical processor, the five senses, emotional, creative, spiritual brain processor. When you read the teachings of Jesus through the right brain, all of a sudden, everything makes sense. 1 + 1 = 2, 2 + 2 = 4, etc., etc. Like, it just makes sense. It's easy. It's simple. The parables, you suddenly understand them. Right? So I noticed something about every picture of Jesus that I saw. From when I was a childhood, even today, I can Google it right now, boom, it's the same thing. You want to know what it is? His pupils are dilated. They're large. And they're slightly pulled apart, which gives them a very serene look. Now, when your pupils are dilated, that's how you know someone is far into the right brain. When they're kind of medium, well, they're probably balanced. When they're really small, they're very, very left brain, like a scientist looking under a microscope. Now look at my face. When you go in the left brain very far, you get a nasal kind of noise that comes resonance, okay? It's very logical. And as you come over a little bit more, you might still be logical. This is a very logical voice, but it's not quite extreme scientific. So think of there being a range. When you come to the middle, it opens up more. When you go farther to the right, it opens up even more. This is very important what I'm showing you. Every single woman that I have talked to, now in my course and my book, Cracked Female Code, but especially in the course, I point this out to men. What did I say? Point. This is left brain language, by the way. Point. Okay? This is how I saw it. This is why I'm going back to this. It was downloaded. It was information that came to me. Okay? I didn't read it in a book. I didn't see it anywhere. Nobody taught it to me. So watch what happens. When you're in the far left brain, your pupils get small and they begin to come together and they go to a point, right? The devil's horn. And they're like you're aiming a gun at a point. You don't want to be way out here. You know those scopes when the pirates or the captain we use on a ship, and they twist it out and they see the big landscape so you can see the whole mountainside and then the billy goat. But then if you want to aim at it or focus on it, you twist it the other way and it gets smaller and you only see the billy goat, right? So that way if you're aiming at something, you can shoot it more accurately. So the left brain does have its purposes. The problem is you weren't supposed to get stuck there, and that's the whole thing with the tree of knowledge, the serpent, and Adam and Eve in the Bible, the book of Genesis, chapter 2 and 3. Is the serpent, narcissist, tricked you and got you stuck in the tree of knowledge, which is where God's not there. God's over on the other side. We have greater awareness, okay? So here's my point, is when you're in your left brain, the further you go, you're actually functioning off of the lower reptilian brain. Key word, reptilian. It is the fight or flight brain. It is the instinctual brain. There's no thinking going on there. I remember after teaching this for about 15 years, I went to a Rich Dad, Poor Dad seminar. And I absolutely believe it was a 4-day seminar. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, the reason why I went was this one thing that I needed to hear. The lady that was teaching the class was saying, a lot of you think that you bought that car, you invested that money based on logical left brain information. She goes, you did not. You got a gut feeling, which is from your reptilian brain. So your reptilian brain is this instinctual thing, right? She goes, all you did though was you justified your gut feeling with your logic. Well, the reason why is because the car gets this much gas mileage. Oops, sorry about that. My neck was stuck on the thing. Is so much gas mileage, and she goes, you justify it logically. That does not mean that you actually process the reason why you bought it logically. She goes, you do it based on animal instincts, and then you justify it through, you communicate it through the left brain. Okay? You can also communicate through the right brain. Here's the deal. The mark of the beast is this. When your pupils are small, and it's going like that, every time you look at a picture of the devil, even the devil smile, everything is squinted. So when you're like your left brain, logical, look how my muscles tighten up. And everything's focused, narrow, like you're looking down a tube. So when you're in your left brain, it causes you to tighten your muscles and your voice and everything. So things become angular. The left brain thinks in terms of like geometry, triangles, squares, whereas the right brain is more circular. It's smooth, like a wave-like motion, more natural, okay? So this is a famous doctor here. Take a look at his eyes. The one thing I want you to notice is not only does his face have that angular look, but his eyes are going external. The left brain is the external eyes, so they are literally going from his eyes and going out. Whereas when you're in your right brain, which a lot of women will do a lot of the time, you go into peripheral vision and you're receiving the image. So the male brain looks out externally, the female brain opens up wider and receives like a funnel. Now, another thing I want to point out is, notice how he is pursing his lips. When you are in your far left brain, or even coming from your reptilian brain, not only do the pupils get small, it's like you're looking down a tube. Your voice begins to sound like you're speaking down a tube because it's very logical, right? And you purse your lips when you talk like that. So when you're in your left brain, everything tightens up like you're talking down in a very narrow tube. Now, people that are very left brain, I think the difference between a narcissist and a healthy person, narcissists are very stuck and they can't get out of this, so they're angry all the time. They always sound analytical. Their voice sounds like this. They're being logical all the time. Now, a healthy person, let's say a healthy male, will be able to open up his voice and his eyes and his pupils and his skin, his muscles, basically his facial tonus, skin tonus, will relax and become more smoother. In other words, he'll be able to open up to see the bigger picture, thus opening up to his right brain. So that is the goal for a healthy person, to go into their logical brain and then over to the right brain. But you have to be open from the left brain to the right brain, whereas a narcissist is not. They're very stuck, and it makes your voice very tight, and you sound like it's like you're stuck and you're trying to force it out. And so it causes a lot of tightness. Now, the other thing about very left brain people is, because they're stuck there, they don't have access to their right brain processor. So they don't have the ability to process right brain communication, right brain logic. Now, the right brain is called a non-linear processor. It processes it more in a circular, expansive mode, whereas the left brain is the logical linear, meaning it goes in a line versus a circular, expansive way, okay? They're just two different processors. So people who are very, very left brain and are stuck there, they'll look at a right brain person and say, oh, that's not logical. That doesn't make any sense, or you're not in reality. Well, here's the thing. The right brain is in the reality, because it's about the five senses and being in the present moment. So that is reality. It's the logical brain where you have to read books, you have to take a class, and you have to have blind faith and just believe whatever your teacher is telling you, because you can't. The right brain is the brain that testing on, well, I'm touching a tree. Oh, this is sap. How do I know? Because I can feel it. I can see it. I can hear it. It's my five senses. That's reality. So ladies, it turns out after all of these centuries and thousands of years, you are and were right. The right brain is the reality brain. The left brain is the brain that blocks reality out. Now, the left brain is really good at studying stuff, so it has to have like a pure environment like a science lab. What the left brain does, it'll take one little molecule and they'll take another one and put it under a microscope to see how they interact. Well, that's not reality. You're literally deleting all reality, the temperature change, bacteria, infections, all kinds of stuff, okay? So here's the deal. The left brain deletes, distorts, and generalizes, meaning you have to block out all of reality in order to focus on this one thing, which is the left brains are really good at. The problem is when you approach relationships, social experiences, and life through your left brain, you are literally blocking out 99% of reality, and thus you have to lie to yourself about what you're actually seeing, hearing, and experiencing. You're saying, oh, everything's in this left brain box. No, that is an absolute lie. So one thing a young lady said to me a long time ago, she was about 24, 25 years old. She goes, Mike, why do men lie all the time? And I didn't have an answer at the time, but then I worked with a client who would lie about everything, but he didn't realize he was doing it. It's because that's the way the left brain works. It believes this is real, this is what I read in a book, and it will block out any other information in order to hold on to that belief. And thus, they will lie about anything and everything. So here's the thing. They don't necessarily or are not conscious that they're lying. Okay, some are aware when they lie some of the time, but a lot of times they're just like, well, this is what I was taught, and this is reality, and Dr. So-and-so said, and therefore it must be true. It's called blind faith. Blind faith does not mean or make something real. Every time I've talked to a woman and said, have you ever noticed how men, it's like they laser beam your eyes, and because they're going from right eye into your eye. She goes, yeah, why do men do that? Every woman I've talked to, and I was like, well, because when a man hears that left brain, because the left brain is the external brain, it's the push energy, it goes into you, right? When a woman, he goes, well, all my concepts, but don't women say you got to look into a woman's eye? And I go, no. Listen to the way, look into more push energy, because when men talk, it's push energy. When a woman says it, she means in an open way, in a peripheral way. Don't look into her eye, have an open awareness of her eyes and her entire face, hair, eyes, and body. So this is something I teach in my course. So what we need to do, I'm going to get back to Jesus and Buddha in a second. So when you're looking at someone with that, like your two eyes are coming to a point, like a pyramid or laser beam, right? That's how you know someone's in their lower reptilian brain, the fight or flight brain. That is where people will fight, rage, get angry. The whole idea of meditation and hymns and singing, like songs that relax you, is to open an artery in the lower reptilian brain. That is the eye of the needle. When that opens up, blood flows through, and now you open up to the larger brain. And that's when you're looking at the world from the open perspective. It's open like this. That's why I went like this and went like that. Now you're seeing the bigger picture. This is what Jesus meant when he said to one of his disciples, when Jesus was telling them they're going to basically catch me and they're going to trick me and they're going to kill me, basically, torture me. And I forgot, who was it? Paul? I don't remember which one it was. So sorry. He said, what happened was his ego came up, right? And he said, I would never let them do that, blah, 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 blah. And Jesus immediately said, get behind thee, Satan. And I remember thinking, what is that? And as I've been meditating and I learned to open up, and I teach something what I call look within. Because when you look within, you open up. You open up to your right brain, which is the peripheral system. So you got the foveal vision and the peripheral vision. You've got the linear. These are the same systems. Left brain is linear. Right brain is nonlinear. Left brain is foveal. Right brain is peripheral. You have two sets of nerves in you. You got the peripheral nervous system and the I forget the other one. It's called a linear logical. So depending on what kind of doctor you go to, they're talking about the same systems, the two systems. But they use different words for the same thing. This is in psychology too, right? So when Jesus said, "Get behind me, Satan," he meant turn this back around this way, and now you open up to your spiritual right brain. And now you're in a very peaceful space. Instead of everything being tight and like you're stuck down here and get frustrated and angry. And what happens is when two men or two women do this, you're pushing each other when you talk. And it makes you very angry and gets pissed off the other person. So you end up fighting because you're just like a lizard. You're operating off of the lizard brain. It is the fight or flight system. You're either going to run or you're going to fight, right? Because everything is so narrow, you can't see all the options and possibilities. The right brain is about options and possibilities. The left brain is like, there's only one way, and that's why it's forceful. I've got to force it to happen. Well, wait a minute. Open up a little bit. Like, oh, well, I can go around the wall. I can open the door instead of having to smash the wall. That's the way the left brain thinks. I must force it, right? Excuse me. All right, so this is why Jesus and Buddha both say, look within. When you look within, your pupils get enlarge, and they pull apart slightly, meaning it's like taking that thing and twisting it open and seeing the bigger picture. So not only do your eyes do that, but you access a larger part of your brain. You access more of your higher intelligence. That is your higher intelligence, and that's how you access it. So the mark of the beast, now watch this. So they say it's going to be, God, how do they say that? In the forehead and in the right hand. Watch this. When you're in your left brain, you're in your forehead. Your energy is pushing up. Let's say this is your skull. It's pushing up, trying to push outside from your brain, from your skull right here. When you're in your right brain, it opens up and you drop down and your energy expands open. So when you're in your left brain, and this is what people do, men and women, but especially men because they do it more often, is they lean forward. They're in their forehead. This is how you know someone's in their left brain. Now watch this. They say it's in the forehead and the right hand. Are you ready? The left side of the brain controls the right side of the body. The right side of the brain controls the left side. So when you're in your logical left brain, you're in the right hand. This is the mark of the beast. This is how you know when someone is in their, call it their demon, their reptilian brain. So in the book of Revelation, chapter 22, verse 4 and 5, it says, "And they shall see his face, and his name shall be in their foreheads." Now we're talking about God right now. When you are open, it'll look the way those pictures of Jesus was. Your eyes will be dilated open and you'll have a relaxed forehead versus a tight angular face. So you will see it in their face. So it'll be more of a relaxed open view of their eyes and their face. Verse 5, it says, "And there shall be no night there, and they need no candle, neither light of the sun, for the Lord God giveth them light, and they shall reign forever and ever, because the light is inside of them." God bless all of you guys. All of this is coming true, and we are finally understanding what all of this means. God bless you. Hey, this is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. I hope you've enjoyed this video. And I will tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt, when I talk to people, my first thing is to check where they're at. Are they in their right brain, their left brain? And one thing I actually for fun will say to my clients when they're back in their thinking brain, let me think about that, and I'll say, "Get behind thee, Satan." They're like, "Oh, okay, I did it again." Yes, you got to open back up. When you open, you have a greater awareness of what's going on around you, and also it adds to communication. So instead of only getting that much communication, you get you get more information. You get their body language, you pick up on the tonality, the tempo, the rhythm, everything, the way the words were said, and all of that stuff. That's all right brain processing. The left brain only processes words. No body language, no tone, no tempo, no rhythm, none of that. It blocks all that out, and it's like a small little funnel. So as I say to women, like, have you ever noticed men, it's like they have blinders on. Most men do, and they only see straight forward. That's how you know he's in his left brain, but it's very limited. People can manipulate you when you're there. You get very angry and rageful. Hey, this is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. If you want to know why you get frustrated and angry, it's because you're here. Learn techniques on how to open up. That is the #1 thing I specialize in my course. So you guys, click the like button, click subscribe, click that bell. See you in the next video. Bye.